What's up, everybody? Welcome to the VGU.TV Gaming Roundtable podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Mobley. With me this week is a lot of people, so we're going to just run through them all. As James Pangello's here.
Hello.
Got Nathan Gamer.
Yeah.
Got the Zach Davis.
Hey.
Matt Mobley.
Saving the best for last.
And Scott Piltz.
Hey, wait. That is right.
You should have known by my tone.
That is the last.
You should have
Off to a
known.
good start.
You should have known by my tone that Matt, you are not the last one.
You shut your fucking mouth. I was talking about Scott the whole time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Right.
Scott's a great guy. He's gonna be Ness.
Thank you.
Scott's good at Dota.
Well,
Is no one ever going to see that? Is that the one that got messed up? The VGU plays with
Yeah.
Dota? Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out because I really want to play more Dota. But I think it's the drivers on my PC. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, the subject for this week, listeners, as you know, Gaming Roundtable. Basically, we pose one question and then we talk about it for like an hour. Big debate, whatever. Anyway, the question for this week is how often do you think it's acceptable for sequel release cycles? Something like it, right? Am I saying that right?
What's the best release cycle for an ongoing franchise?
Like, okay, all right. So, Uncharted 1 comes out. How long do you think the Uncharted should it take for them to pump out Uncharted 2 and 3, respectively?
Or, Call of Duty.
Basically,
Call of Duty,
How
or
long
any
do you think
franchise.
how long do you think it's acceptable for a Call of Duty game?
Yeah.
I think
It's kind of
a good place. Kind of a line to draw would be what constitutes another entry into the series. Is it like you said Uncharted and then Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3? Would spin-offs count for that? Like if you have Uncharted 1 and then next year you'd have Uncharted Golden Abyss or whatever it's called and then Uncharted 2, is that one a year or?
Well, that's one of the things I kind of wanted to explore with this question is that not only is it, it's kind of like what's the ideal for the franchise? Like I think a lot of people tend to think that, like, say, the Call of Duty franchise has gotten just hoard out over and over again, even though they have two developers and it's on a 2-year cycle, because they see a new Call of Duty every single year. They seem to think that, like, people seem to think like, oh, well, they're always rushed out. They're always, and even if they are, they may or may not be rushed, but at the very least, people see one every year and they think that it's being rushed. And I think, kind of like in terms of the release cycle, I think we could also kind of put into that equation, how often should you not only see main releases but spin-offs too? Because are you diluting the franchise by putting too many spin-offs out there every year? So I think it's all kind of part of the discussion.
I like 2-year cycles.
Agree.
I actually don't mind if there's a spin-off in the middle years. I don't think that's a big deal. As long as it's if it was like a portable game, or
Yeah,
something
what do
like
you
that,
term
then I
a
would
spin-off? Like a different genre in the same universe?
I think a spin-off would still have to be.
Spin-offs
I don't know, I like-
in the same
like-
universe.
It's
Oh,
in the
yeah,
same
but
universe, but I think it has to
different
kind of have.
Well,
No, that's rough because it's Portal. Portal. We talked about this yesterday. Is Portal a spin-off of Half-Life?
Yeah, and no.
It is. Yes and no. It's like
No.
we couldn't decide if it was or wasn't. 'cause
I treat it.
I think it is.
I treat it like
it's
I'd say it is.
Portal is its own thing, but it is still in the Half-Life universe.
It's kind of like, isn't there?
But that's kind of the same way with TV shows as well. Is that they are like Mork and Mindy. It is a spin-off of Happy Days, but it's its own thing.
And
Yeah, I mean,
Frasier.
That is.
Was that show a spin-off?
Frasier's a spin-off of Third Rock, right?
No,
Or was it the other way
Third
around?
Rock.
I thought
Cheers.
Frasier was a spin-off of Cheers.
Oh, Cheers.
Yeah,
I got.
so,
You're
Was it
fucking,
really?
You're like 20 years off.
I'm way off.
I don't even like Frasier.
Frasier is terrible.
I think Frasier's hilarious.
Yeah.
Grew up
I
on
think
that
the Jeffersons is the best spin-off show ever.
This
What
just
is- what's
turned
the
into the
Jeffersons a
this just
spin-off
turned
of?
into the TV roundtable.
Family. All the
No,
Jeffersons.
who asked
All in
about
the
Mork?
really?
Mork
I did not know that. The Jeffersons is an awesome show.
Yeah, George
Great
Jefferson
show.
appears in a couple episodes, and then in All in the Family, and then they made a.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
Crazy.
Who asked about Mork and Mindy? I thought somebody.
I thought you brought it up.
I did, but I thought somebody had asked what it was a spin-off of.
Well, I didn't know it was a spin-off of Happy Days. I knew that Robin Williams appeared in the series, but I didn't know it was a spin-off.
Yeah, there's an episode where he shows up in the series and he freezes everybody and tries to take Richie with him, but he can't freeze Fonzie because Fonzie's got magical fucking thumbs or something. Shit, I don't know.
Well, Fonzie,
what
he's the Fonz, you know.
Well, what was
Hey.
No, not. Of course, I know the Fonz. Come on, I know the Fonz's catchphrase. More.
Nanu Nanu.
More for more.
Nanu Nanu.
Yeah.
He
Anyway,
said,
you guys,
he said something funny. I swear.
Anyway, gaming.
VGU.TV, the official podcast spokesperson of TV Land.
everybody can agree that TV shows come out once a week. That's how often they should come out. All right.
I agree with that.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll end the discussion with that.
So should video
Well,
games
thanks for
come out
tuning in,
once a-
and that's has been.
Well, I think it depends on if the game is like a direct sequel. Like, is it a direct sequel? Are we going the same plot, or is it like a whole new thing?
Right. So the original question was for direct sequels.
Okay. Well, then I agree with Josh. It should be 2 years. 2 years is like, if it's annually, then it's just too soon. It's like, oh, you're just pumping this out for the money. But if it's like 2 years, it's like, oh, they did take some time with it.
It also
3
kinda-
years, it's like,
it also-
Jesus Christ, dude.
It also kind of depends on the game. Like,
Sure.
if it's episodic, then it's supposed to come out sooner.
Right, of course.
But if it's like a full retail title,
Yeah.
then yeah, I can see
Well,
that.
I'm looking at the Zelda series right now because I mean, regardless of our opinions of Nintendo right now, I think
A
we
Link
all
to the
can
Past
agree.
is the best game ever.
Yes, it is.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Like we all can agree that the Zelda series, at least at a time, was like the peak of video games, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
will agree with that. Yeah.
So I'm looking right now at release dates here. You have Zelda 1 was 86, Zelda 2 was 87,
Okay.
and then A Link to the Past was 4 years after that in 91.
So that's good because
Yeah.
Still a year before.
Pass
I
is
was
the best one.
But games when they were on the NES also didn't take as long to make.
You know what the
It's
real
true. Was a link to the Past an SNES or an NES game?
It was an
SNES.
SNES game.
Okay, that might have played into it too because it's a new system.
You know what the
Well,
real
and also
trial out of
that,
this stuff is?
Ocarina of Time was 98, so 7 years after A Link to the Past.
Well,
And
that depends if you're counting the A Link's Awakening and...
What was all the
well, I
Game
guess-
Boy?
well, right, that's the thing though. Yeah, does Link's Awakening count as?
I would.
A
Link's
main
Awakening was
line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think they count. I would count those.
You know what the real tragedy is about this, though? James won't play Link to the Past.
That's not true. I just don't have the system for it.
You know what James could do? He could just go pick himself up a $30 Game Boy Advance SP and get the Link to the Past port. But no.
No. If I'm gonna play it, I'll play it on a console. No handhelds.
Or James, you
I
could
don't
just
like handhelds.
you could just download an emulator and
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
I know it's either okay.
Get a
Play it on
GameCube.
console
Here,
or
step
don't
one is get a
play it on console.
GameCube, and then get
But
a
if-
Game Boy player, and then get the Game Boy Advance remake.
No, it's
No.
that's
You
wait,
want the
you're
best...
talking I'm sorry, which Zelda are we talking about again?
Link
A
to the Past.
Link to the Past. That's an SNES
I don't
game,
even
right?
know anymore.
Super NES. Yeah, you could.
Right. So if I was gonna play it, I would need to get an SNES. I'm not gonna play it on anything else.
God damn it.
Why?
No, I agree.
He's
I
a
agree
What's
with
wrong
that.
with
So I want to. I'm a
virtual
purist. I want to play it
I-
on the system it came out for.
Don't hate.
I'm
Tis-
not hating. I guess I can understand that.
He's just missing out on such a phenomenal experience is all.
You could probably get one for like $30 at a pawn shop somewhere.
One of these days, I will buy an SNES.
One of
but-
these days.
Okay, but
Like
go,
Zoom.
I
back
just I don't understand.
on point though, I think. Well, I mean, the Zelda franchise is rough because I think once you get past like the initial like a lot of back when they came up with Zelda, there weren't. I don't think they were making games as trilogies. I think they make a lot of games as trilogies now. I think once you get past the original trilogy, the release cycle gets all completely fucked up. But I like the 3-year cycle, and mainly because I look at the quality of the Halo titles, which were on a 3-year cycle, and then I look at the quality of
Not
the
anymore.
not after the first 3 Halo titles
Yeah, I know.
on a 3-year cycle, and then the Assassin's Creed 3, which came out, which was being developed throughout the course of they were making Brotherhood and Revelations, they were making Assassin's Creed 3, so that was on its
That
own
was like
cycle.
3 years.
That
Yeah.
was like 3 years. And I look at the quality of the games after 3 years as opposed to the games after 2 years, and I think that extra year of development actually serves the game pretty well. I think 4 years and beyond can start to get muddled unless we're talking about an RPG. But if we're talking about a shooter or an adventure game, I think 3 years is pretty good. There was a 3-year gap between two of the Uncharted games, right? There was a
2
gap
years for each.
Was it every single one? I thought there was a 3-year gap on one of them.
No, yeah, every single one I'm pretty sure had 2 or a year between. Or yeah, like 2-year release cycle. I mean.
Yeah, I see.
Pretty
Unless
sure that's how it worked.
Pretty sure I asked for pecan sandies.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was 2. You're right. No, it was 07, 09.
I like the 2-year release cycle, especially for like something like Uncharted. Gives them time to like each Uncharted minus the story got better like as they went on.
I thought the story got better.
Uh,
I
He
know,
also
like
thought
you.
that he also think there's nothing wrong with the shooting, so
I think that the shooting is fun.
I think the shooting's okay. I think it's not as good as some other games, but it's okay. It works.
I don't think there's anything really wrong with it.
Well, I mean, that's why I say it works. I'm not saying it's perfect though. There's a lot of games that do aiming better. That's all I'm saying. This is coming from the guy who says Uncharted 1's his favorite game of all time. So
yeah, Josh is the biggest Uncharted fan I know. Granted, I don't know many.
Makes sense.
yeah.
Well, going back to Assassin's Creed for a second, so like yeah, there was a lot of time between Part 2 and Part 3,
Right.
but critically, Brotherhood was considered to be a marked step past Part 2, and I think Revelations also had a fair number of fans.
Oh yeah, I like all the Assassin's Creed games. Well, I haven't played any of the portable ones, so I don't know about those. But all the main series ones, yeah, I totally dig on them.
Like it seems like that series was kind of like the poster child for the yearly cycle working.
Well, the thing about Assassin's Creed, I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've gotten a lot of differing opinions on it, but the majority of people I've spoken to would say that Assassin's Creed 2 was better than either of the spin-offs. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Now, I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan myself, so kind of my opinion is being shaped by the other people I've talked to. But for the most part, I get the sense that people think Assassin's Creed 2 is better. So I don't know.
I would say, well, I would just say that they're all kind of like the same. Not the same game.
Take a stand, Josh.
Hang on now. I'm saying they're all
Good God.
they're all kind of complement each other in a way. Like they're all part of the same story, So I always kind of just think of them as 3 different parts to the same thing. So I never really differentiate them. I mean, of course, they all had different things about them. Revelations had that horrible mini game, but I like them all. So yeah, well, your opinion doesn't matter.
And not that this is the be-all, end-all, but looking at game rankings, Assassin's Creed 2 has an aggregate of 90.66%, and Brotherhood is 90.49%, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, that's within a margin of error.
Sure, right. I mean, sure. But yeah, I mean, like it just seems like that. There is argument for the yearly cycle, at least in terms of game quality. In terms of getting, worn out, like Call of Duty, I think has kind of for a lot of people that like follow the industry anyway, are kind of tired of Call of Duty by this point.
Even though it sells more and more each year, it's really odd.
I thought the sales were actually going down.
No.
No, the pre-orders went up, but I think the overall sales have gone down.
2 is lower, but I think Modern Warfare 3 topped Blops, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Black Ops 2 sold more than Modern Warfare did.
Well,
they just keep selling more and more. I don't know,
I
man.
think also we forget, and by we I mean people who are somewhat invested into this industry,
just a
forget that word niche. Like, we are the minority.
That is true.
Yeah.
The people that go
Fast.
buy these games are people that have never looked at IGN or have never,
Well,
really
some of them
read
do.
Or VGU.TV.
Yeah.
That's where you should really be going.
I think everyone has checked out VGU.TV, the latest and greatest website in the video game industry.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue
Hi.
the greatest of all time, but that's okay.
The first month sales for Black Ops 2 were 14% less than Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
guess I was
So there
wrong
has
then.
been a market dip in the sales. Although I do know that Black Ops 2 had more pre-orders, but
That's
just
so weird,
overall
though.
sales did dip down. I mean,
I guess Modern Warfare 3 sold more after.
it must have been just, I mean, pre-orders for Black Ops 2 must have been higher, but in general, the sales of Modern Warfare 3 must have been better. I mean, it's still selling a ton of copies. It's still
Well,
selling
obviously.
enough to make the next Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
I just think it's surprising that a lot of people. The problem with Call of Duty is that they have yearly releases, but they have two different developers, which you wouldn't think is a problem.
They have
It's a
three
good thing.
now.
Each one gets a 2-year cycle. Yet people still just see Call of Duty every year, and they're just saying it's the same old crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have
And,
three now
Sony
because
gets that.
Neversoft is supposed to be working on a Call of Duty game.
Really?
Who isn't working
Didn't
on
hear
Call
about
of Duty
that.
games?
Yeah, they were talking about that for like
Danger
Well,
Close
I-
isn't. They're not working on anything right now.
who?
The Medal of Honor people.
Oh,
After-
well, yeah. I
after
mean,
that-
dude,
after that game.
I was just at GameStop and Medal of Honor Warfighter is already like $30. I was like, oh my god, really?
Yeah,
I actually
that
thought about
game-
getting it, but then I went, I'll rent it.
That game could have been so much better. But
I feel like they needed something till Battlefield 4.
I think, I mean, they're doing the same thing that Activision is doing with Call of Duty, except
They're
for the
just
fact
doing
that
it
they're not doing
between-
Call of Duty brand every year. They're doing Medal of Honor brand 1 year, Battlefield brand next year.
Yeah.
And they're swapping. So the titles are swapping.
I think
But
they
the problem
should
with
they
that,
should
though, is
just
that the Medal of Honor series isn't nearly as popular as the Battlefield series, whereas Black Ops and Modern Warfare are both selling very well.
yeah. Well, Battlefield 3 was great though. It's still great, and they're still coming out with DLC for it. It's like, my god,
That is crazy. They've been supporting that for a long time.
that long, and people are still like paying for it.
They supported Battlefield 2 for 4 years. That game came out in 2005, and the last patch was 2009.
And people played it forever, though.
People still play it.
Yeah. Knives
Like that.
only.
Yeah,
Knives
right.
only.
But that's another thing also. You look at the Battlefield series, and you could very easily see games like Bad Company and Bad Company 2 being offshoots of the series, and Battlefield 2 being the last real one. And then they kind of signified a return to like the main line with the number 3 with Battlefield 3. And I think by only putting 2 years, is it going to be 2 years between 3 and 4? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
3
Battlefield
came
4 is
out.
coming out this
3
coming
came
year.
out like October last year or something,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 is the rumored next gen title.
Yeah, Battlefield 3 was last year, and 4 is supposed to be 2013 or 14. But I mean, I think I imagine they'll improve on things. But as someone who was really into 1942 and Battlefield 2, having like a big wait between 2 and 3 makes it feel like you're getting this like entirely new experience. Whereas when you come out with 4 so soon, especially announcing it, kind of unofficially, but getting the name out there.
Well,
so
the
quickly after the
betas,
third one,
they're
it
gonna
feels
give
like
sorry.
yeah, it feels like you could skip over it. Like I almost feel like I can skip 4. Like what are they going to do from 3 to 4? Probably not not as big of a jump as 2 to 3.
That is true. I mean, as I was saying, the Battlefield 4 is in the Medal of Honor Warfighter thing. You get a thing saying that you'll get like premium access or whatever to the Battlefield 4 beta. So I mean, it's coming. It's not even unofficially announced. It's coming.
Yeah, well, they said
it's on marketing material. It's coming.
They said straight up. They're like, yeah, Battlefield 4 next year. They're like, oh.
I mean, I think there
okay.
is something to. I think there is something to that idea of kind of spacing them out a little bit more so that you have more of a change. It's similar to how with
More
sports
DLC.
games, I don't buy the same thing. I don't buy NHL is a is kind of a bad example for me. But like, let's say the NBA series. I usually won't buy an NBA game once every maybe 4 years or so. I mean, unless there's some kind of an innovation or a new system that comes out, I don't really feel like a roster update and some slight graphical tweaks are worth buying a whole new $60 game every single year.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I've
with
always
that.
said they
Yeah.
need to get like sports games on like a 4-year cycle or something where they just maybe they charge you some DLC or something for like
Well,
a
that's,
roster
Well, like do
update.
do full
That's called
roster
NBA
updates every
Elite,
year or
right?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't happen.
So it's going to be like 4 years from the last NBA Live to
Yeah,
the next
'cause
one.
didn't
So,
NBA
Yeah.
delete? Not NBA. Well, more like
NBA
NBA delete, but NBA Elite.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, NBA Elite hasn't come out. The
NBA
last
Live.
2 years it's supposed to come out.
2009 was the last year they made a game. I think what was it? Did NBA Live 10 come out, or was it NBA Live 09 was the last one?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
remember,
I'll
but
find out.
But remember
It's
they
been a
changed
while, though.
they changed NBA Live to NBA Elite, and then it never came out.
Right, because they wanted to
Uh,
compete with 2K's franchise.
Yeah, and 2K, like NBA 2K is just too damn good.
NBA Live 2010 did come out.
So that would be 2009 was the last time they made a game. So it's going to be at least
No, 2010
4 years.
did. It did. So 2010.
But that came out in 2000.
Right.
I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Yeah.
You know.
And then they tried to make it
It makes
NBA
sense.
Elite 11, and then
It was a
they
mobile.
shelved it, and then they were like, "Oh, NBA Elite 13," and that should never happen.
Yeah, they keep
Yeah,
every
they-
year
they
they keep
took
saying
12
it's going to come and then it doesn't.
And then they said we're going back to the live name. It's going to be NBA Live 13. And then like there was a trailer for it that was really bad. And then
It's
they
like
said
play basketball, play basketball online. They had some rap song.
Yeah.
It was actually a rap song.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you were just kidding because that sounds really stupid.
No,
No. I don't know. I didn't see the trailer. I was just trying to.
No.
You should go
He
check it
was
out.
just making fun. I think it's funny that Dwight Howard was the last one on an NBA Live cover, and if you just look at where his career has been going, it kind of sums up the NBA Live series, doesn't it?
I don't even.
Dwight Howard, very, very publicly bad break from the Orlando Magic franchise. He's now on the Lakers. The Lakers are awful. They can't get it together. They can't get their shit together. Just not like Dwight Howard's one of those guys who should be like unbelievable superstar, and yet he's just not living up to his potential because of bad teams and just bad chemistry and maybe a lack of work ethic, maybe not. People are complaining about that, but just very tumultuous
Maybe
last
he's
few years for
maybe
Dwight
he's like
Howard.
maybe he's like a dick or something. I don't know.
I don't know. He seems like a nice guy, but maybe.
Is there an NBA Live curse like there's a Madden curse?
Well, let's see who was on the title. Let's see. Well, okay. Oh God. All right. So let's see. NBA Live 09 was Tony Parker. So I mean, he's had a good.
God.
NBA Live 08 was Gilbert Arenas.
No.
Oof. NBA Live 07 was Tracy McGrady.
Oh my.
Uh,
Tracy McGrady is a beast, though.
Tracy McGrady is a beast, but hasn't, it's Tracy McGrady. He's like that guy that, oh yeah, that's right, Tracy McGrady. He's really good at basketball. Why didn't he do anything? And yeah, no, then the rest, I mean, you got your Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Jason Kidd. No, not really a curse. I wouldn't say a curse.
I don't think the Madden curse has been a thing for a couple years, though.
No, it totally has.
Peyton
Totally has.
Hillis.
I think Troy Polamalu was the last one to escape it.
See,
and
I
that's 'cause
read
he-
that
there were two
I
people
read
on
that
the
it
cover.
had been broken or whatever. I could be wrong.
I'm sure it's been broken by like single people, but like
In general, like, so, yeah, Palomalu and Fitzgerald were both on it, and
Like
They had
Fitzgerald
alright
had like an
years.
ACL or something. No, I'm sorry. Palomalu sprained his MCL in the first half of the season, and Fitzgerald came through unscathed.
yeah.
But Madden 11, Drew Brees, he seemed to have broken it, but then at the end of the season revealed that he had an injury like the whole time.
Yeah, he played with, like, broken ribs or something, didn't he?
I think it was an MCL.
Jesus
Peyton
Christ.
Hillis missed a bunch of games, and then afterwards,
Yeah,
like,
Peyton Hillis he got obliterated. He had, like, 3 injuries that season.
yeah,
dude, this is not. Yeah, this isn't even looking good. NFL 13 had Calvin Johnson on the cover and Ray Lewis in the introduction. Lewis torn tricep ended his season. Johnson injured, reportedly suffering nerve damage in his hands and a serious concussion. I mean, shit, these guys. The Madden curse is still going.
It's alive.
That
It's
voodoo
alive
curse.
and well. It's
Don't mess
alive
with
and
the
well.
voodoo.
I remember I saw the NHL 13 had a trailer come out before the game, and it was kind of like how they were talking about how the NHL players have actually had good seasons after their stuff. So it's the anti-curse.
So it's the
So it's like
NHL enchantment. That's what you're telling me.
except for the fact that NHL is locked out, so they're not even playing.
That's because nobody's on the cover.
Forward.
I hate the beginning of Fallout 3 on a sidebar.
Right on.
Okay, where's the
nothing-
sidebar coming from though? Let's.
I'm playing
I
it.
want it. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like the vault opening?
I'm still in the freaking birthday party.
The birthday party's so boring.
I actually like that. I like the Fallout 3 intro. That was the best part of the game.
They had to
I
set
wanna
it up,
shoot
man.
things.
I enjoyed the very beginning of it, like the first couple times, but after a while, I'm kind of like, all right, I just want to get to the.
That's
open
why
world.
every time I
But
play
it's a good set piece.
every
to
time I
begin it.
play a Bethesda game, I make a save that I never delete that's right outside the start area. So if I ever want to make a new character, I just start that save, or I just duplicate that save, and then I can go on.
All right, so
You guys have never
is,
done that?
this is actually a great segue back on topic. Release cycle. What about RPGs? What about big games like that? Those usually have a
I like
much
lots
longer
of
release cycle.
DLC and like I like the release cycle to be really special. You know, like, it takes a couple of years, but I get a lot of DLC for the other game that I bought. You know.
Well, that and
5
it's
years.
some of these RPGs, like, people are just picking them up now. They're like, well, I've heard about this, and now it's cheap, and, like, it's $20 or something. So they have a longer shelf life, too.
That is true.
They
because you
get
got
extended
people-
with like Game of the Year releases.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm
Mhm.
playing right now on the PC for the first time.
Yeah. Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition's amazing. It's like hundreds of hours of stuff to do.
Well,
Can we
I
jump
just
back for a
started
second,
break
though?
because I finished my
What do we-
final while we were on this, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Woo!
Multitasking.
Woo!
Yeah.
Scott, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, I wanted to. There's something I meant to mention about sports games.
Okay, yeah.
About a yearly cycle. So, sports games kind of get crapped on a lot for being like, oh, they just re-release the same
For
game
being
every
boring.
year and everyone buys it.
Yeah.
I actually take kind of offense to that because I think Madden they do some crazy stuff with Madden.
Well,
Like,
this year they definitely did, and I hated it.
all this stuff that people hate.
I hated it.
Vision, like if you guys remember, they did QB Vision on one year.
Oh, yeah, and that was so
A lot of
stupid.
people hated that.
Oh,
I
QB
couldn't
Vision was-
play.
Ugh.
I
can't
couldn't
play
play
QB
against people in my house because they knew where I was throwing the freaking ball.
Right, and then they
Big
did
flashlight on your
like
receiver.
weapons. They did like weapons one year.
What?
Where like this guy like this
Oh,
is
yes.
like really
Okay,
tough,
yeah.
so like
Oh,
roll
okay.
people over.
I got
Or
it.
like this guy has great hands, so like he can make crazy catches.
Ooh, you have great
Sorry,
hands.
yeah, he's got great
Oh,
hands.
those hands are so
Yeah,
soft.
but I mean,
I got you. I understand.
Oh,
what you're saying.
Fabio.
But like because it's a yearly cycle, they can do
This guy
something
has
like,
great
hey,
hair.
why don't we try this crazy idea? Oh, that didn't work. We'll just take it out next year. So
I
like
mean,
by being on a yearly cycle, that lets them try crazy stuff.
that is true. But I think a lot of the times what'll end up happening is that you
should
talk
they
about all this
try
crazy
this
stuff
crazy
that they
stuff?
did. They did these crazy things, but a lot of them didn't work. You didn't really like them. I
So
mean,
many crazy things.
I think the reason, like, I reviewed the last two NHL releases. I did NHL 12 for my last site
Shot
and then
my
NHL
dad.
13. Like the NHL franchise, I always rate it pretty highly simply because they do a ton of significant stuff to the gameplay throughout each one. I mean, graphically, they usually don't go up very much, but they've been adding things like, they added the skill stick, they added the true performance skating, they added the dynamic goalies. Like, they've actually added quite a bit to the gameplay that's made it more authentic as it's gone on every single year. So that's one of those series that, like, they have a yearly release for sports, yet the NHL games are much better. In fact, I had a hard time going back and playing NHL 12 after playing NHL 13 because of how much better the system was for, you got your momentum, you can go faster, you can cut better defensemen are slower than forwards finally, things like that. So I think it depends on the series. Madden,
Oh, sure.
I know Madden 13 had got really great reviews. I never played it, but I do know that I reviewed Madden 12, and I was not a big fan of Madden 12 because it's kind of like it wasn't bad at all, but it
was
didn't really.
mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. It was mediocre. It was basically Madden again, but with new
Sure.
lineups. There wasn't much new there. So, I mean, there's something to be said for adding in new stuff and, seeing what else works, especially with sports games, since it seems like that's just going to be the way they are. Because if people will shell out $60 every year, they're going to make people shell out $60 every year.
Yeah, if
but
people didn't,
yeah, but that's until people stop buying it for $60 every single year, they're going to keep going. Why would they stop?
Oh, sure.
But
Because
I
money's
like
nice.
that you added that point in there because that's pertinent. It's another way of looking at it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Did anyone else have anything else to say about sports games before we move back to RPGs?
No, fuck a bunch of score.
I don't play sports games, so I only play them at other people's house.
Yeah, I don't like sports games at all.
FIFA is great. when
NFL
you're
2K
drunk.
for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Hey, I still play
Oh,
2K5
yeah.
on my
NHL
Xbox.
NHL 99 on the computer.
You know what's funny is
I thought it 64.
I'm way better at old sports games than I am at the new ones.
They
Like,
make more sense. I think.
You know, the closest I ever played to a sports game, 2 of them, was Space Jam for PC.
Mhm.
And they had everybody had like special dunks. It was awesome.
You know the
And-
Space Jam website is still up.
yep.
Wait,
We're gonna
what's
visit
Space Jam?
that later.
Hmm?
SpaceJam.com, is that what it is?
I don't know if it is or not, but if
The
you Google
gaming
it,
podcast.
Sorry.
And
Sorry, I was really
also,
excited when I saw the old school Space Jam logo.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's all like
Jam.
I
HTML.
guess there's no new school Space Jam logo.
It's all
anymore.
HTML1.
Shut up, Matt.
Pump
I am
it
going to
up.
nostalgia right now.
Fuck up, I'm
Bugs Bunny got top billing over Michael Jordan.
got frames.
But
Sorry, what are you saying, Matt?
the other sports game, that's actually a legitimate sports game
Mm.
that I played, and I don't know why my mother got it for me. I guess just because she needed a game and she thought it would shut me the fuck up. Was
That
PGA
double
Tour for the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Like 96, right?
Yeah, like
I don't even-
96.
I don't even.
They didn't count
And-
years back
And
then.
I'll tell you something. I played PGA Tour more times than I'd like to admit. I wasn't any fucking good at it, but I played it.
I played the Wiley Open Country Club golf game on the N64 a lot.
Oh.
I like
Mine,
Hot shots.
Played a lot of Warcraft 3 and 2, Warcraft 2,
those aren't sports games.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself.
Diablo
I played
1.
Shaq Fu.
Oh,
Dude, Shaq
half a
Fu,
sports game,
Shaq
right?
Fu is so bad, it's funny.
Ouch.
NBA Jam. Oh my god.
NBA Jam '99. That's the one I had on the N64.
Tournament
with,
edition.
Heath Van Horn on the cover.
You
Yeah.
guys remember Michael Jordan had his own game on the Super?
Yeah,
Which
I
Michael
played it.
Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City.
Chaos in the. I remember
I
this.
played it. It was called Space Jam. That was his game, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? He was in it.
Why
right?
the fuck not, dude? I don't even.
Isn't Tournament Edition for NBA Jam the one that had like the presidents in it? Like Bill Clinton? or
Yeah, it had Bill and Hillary.
something? Yeah.
That's
my shit.
You know,
Yeah, what was with
Come out
that?
every year.
I don't know. That's awesome though.
speaking of the Clintons, you want to know something funny? Josh and I once went to the used bookstore, and we found political instruments. There was
What?
there was a Bill Clinton corkscrew and a Hillary Clinton nutcracker.
That's pretty funny.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, remember fucking our buddy Adam is really into the politics,
Me too.
and we went and
Lunchtime Adventures is on VGU.TV.
we found we found a Ronald Reagan bobblehead that, admittedly was not in the best of shape because, this is a used bookstore, and so it's also got used gifts. But he loves the Ronald Reagan, so we thought we'd point it out to him. He didn't get that. Instead, he was like, "I'm gonna get this Bill Clinton corkscrew."
Or like,
But
what?
he didn't. But he didn't complete the set by getting the Hillary Clinton nutcracker because he hates
That's
Hillary.
just stupid.
I don't like Hillary Clinton either, but this is a discussion for another time. We need to get back on topic here.
Yeah, RPG.
Hey, we were
I
talking
think
about
was
the
last.
Yeah, RPG really
need to talk
cycles.
about-
I heard someone say 5 years.
We need to
We
talk about
yeah,
RPGs.
Yeah, 5 years. Because RPGs are much longer.
Need to talk about them RPGs. All right.
RPGs.
Or we're talking about like JRPGs or
Any
Sure.
RPG.
Just any.
Any RPG. I mean, like 5 years.
How long did it take for
gives
each
them
Mass
enough
Effect
time
game to
to-
come out?
Well, Mass Effect was 3 and then 2.
Yeah.
It was 07, 10, and then 12. But I mean, Mass Effect, though, as it went along, became less of an RPG and more of a third-person shooter action game.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, there was still
that's
an
true.
option to
I mean,
be-
there was still a lot of RPG elements to it, but it wasn't nearly as deep an experience in terms of an RPG
Mhm.
as as other RPGs that came out, like Skyrim or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
remember when Mass Effect 2 came out, hella people were all pissed off because they were like, "There's not enough RPG in this game."
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, a lot
Stupid
of
people.
complaining about that. I mean, I loved Mass Effect 2, but they went back to a little bit more RPG stuff for Mass Effect 3.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, not
brought
as much
back
as the first
they
one,
brought
but
back a higher level than 30. I remember that.
Well, what they did was they had the levels stacked, so it actually wasn't. If you played Mass Effect 2, you only went through 30 extra levels in, and if you made Mass Effect 2, you got to level 30, then your imported save into Mass Effect 3, you just went from level 30 to 60.
Mhm. Well, so yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
you think that holds true for JRPGs?
Not for JRPGs. I think that 5 years is more acceptable. Well, with a game like Uncharted or those kinds of games, they're shorter, so it's acceptable to go for like at least 2 years.
right, he just ran back to action games.
I
We're
wish they
we're
would
talking
stop
just
making-
about RPGs.
I-
Right?
I'm talking about
Madden 05
You're
to
talking
06
about Uncharted.
definitely
Back to-
good.
Yeah, but I mentioned that JRPGs, you wait 5 years. God damn it,
I
James.
think like games like Final Fantasy need longer release cycles, and they need to not make sequels. I know
They need
why.
to not make Final Fantasy.
No,
Sorry.
Final Fantasy is great.
Hey.
All right, they need to just not make so many damn sequels.
I guess.
I'm looking at the Final Fantasy release list now.
Also,
So the
Final
first
Fantasy
one,
15.
the first one was 87.
Also, where
Second
the hell
one
is
was
Versus 13? God damn it!
How about
I've
we
been
just turn
talking-
I guess
Versus
that comes out.
13
I've been talking
into
about the game for like 7 years. It's still not out.
It's never gonna come out.
Let's just turn it into 15 and drop the whole versus bullshit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe if they had one universe, it would be easier. But instead
James,
they
shut the
start
fuck up. You
messing
don't know what
all
you're talking
over-
about.
James.
all over the place.
Ah.
And they start, with their stupidity, and then, we don't want to confuse people, so we're going to call it 13-2, and because it's the same universe. Because if it's not, it can't be 14. How could it be 14? It's the same universe. But then,
13,
no, wait a
13.
minute. After 13-2, I said let's just call it Final Fantasy 13 because we don't want to confuse people because it's not a direct sequel to
James,
13-2.
First of all, you've never even played. a Final
I know
Fantasy
this
game.
though. I know this though. I know this.
That's
I
right,
know.
people. That's the
13.
sad part. James didn't know that that all the Final Fantasies were in separate universes until recently.
Yeah, he thought they were all one continuous like canon.
He was ready to start from the beginning.
He's like, I'm gonna play that Final Fantasy
No, I
1.
wasn't. I
I've
really-
played Final Fantasy 1.
I like Final Fantasy 1.
Final Fantasy 1 is good.
This does not. None of that discredits the fact that they are awful. With
You've
this
never
whole
played them.
extra
Shut the
universe.
fuck up.
They keep messing up with these different. You yourself are the one saying it either get confusing or you want this, you want that. They don't do it. You're complaining
That's
about it.
because
and
with
I'm not
each one
pissed
they're
at this-
trying to do something different.
I'm not pissed at the series. I'm pissed at the company. All right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like look, Final Fantasy is like a yearly franchise sometimes. It's kind of weird. I'm looking at a list now.
Feels like it.
3, 4, and 5 all came out back to back to back, and then there was a break. And then 8, 9, 10, and 11 were all back to back to back to back. and then there was a 4-year break till 12, and then 13 and 14 came out back to back.
Well, you know.
It seems like they make them a bunch, and then people get tired of them, so they don't make them for a while, and then they go back to it.
You know what they need to
You
do
have
is...
to also like take into account that a lot of those had sequels.
Yeah, which
Um,
they shouldn't have made.
Hey, whoa. Okay, some sequels not very good, but you know, like
The only...
the after years for Final Fantasy IV is really good.
Yeah, but they kind of made that for that thing.
Crisis Core is a pretty good game.
Crisis Core is a prequel, and yeah, it's like...
It still counts.
It's like the only one out of all of the... Like, X2 is terrible. 13.2 is okay, but I mean, the story is like all over the fucking place.
Well, that can be said with any Final Fantasy game.
No,
Yes. Don't lie to yourself.
those
Come
stories
on.
are great. Most of them.
Don't lie to yourself. They're always all over the place.
No, they're not.
You're just playing it going like, wait, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
10 had a great story. 7 had a great story.
And I'm tired.
I'm pretty sure 8 has a good story, but I never beat it. Fucking Zach.
Have you ever stayed up this late, Zach?
Is it past your
Yeah.
bedtime?
It's past Zach's bedtime. He used
I
to go
We
to
gotta
still-
put Zach to
anyway.
bed.
Dude,
Gotta
come on.
tuck him
I just
in and
finished
shit.
Finals. I work every
He's all
day.
tuckered out, the poor sport.
Whatever, man.
So Zach, has someone ever told you sound like a high school kid?
He's gone, man. It's
People
always
tell me
gone.
I look like a high school kid too, so there you go.
He sounds like Baloo from the Jungle Book, only with a higher pitched voice. He's like, "I'm gone, man. Solid gone."
What the heck?
Zach, I bet that you
You don't remember that
wouldn't
line?
look like a college kid if you wouldn't look like a high school kid if you were actually standing next to a high school kid.
They'd be like, they'd be
Oh,
like,
I don't know
high
about all that.
kids are
Yeah.
taller than me.
they'd be like, who's that
No, it's
30-year-old man?
It's like
The high school
my-
kids are all taller than me, man.
Well, but it's not about height. No, because I remember when I went to my first year of college, my older brother, who was when I was 18, he was 22. All right, so he's 22, so he's like at the end of college. And you know, we go into the room or whatever, and my mom was like, you know, it's funny. Jonathan always seemed like he's about same age as you. He never doesn't really seem that much older than you. Yeah, proportionally. And then he actually put him in a room with a bunch of other kids who were like 18 years old, and they're like, he actually looks kind of old when you put him next to all of those other kids.
It's like an 80-year-old man next to all of...
Really, he acts like an 80-year-old man, but that's beside the point.
He's like, I'm so tired.
I'm just tired of listening to you guys bitch about Final Fantasy.
I love Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasies are good games,
Yeah, they were better.
but they're still good.
No, so
Shut the fuck up, too.
what did you say to me?
He said, shut the fuck up.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry. Trying to get back on topic. Trying to wrap up the whole 5-year RPG thing, but no, Matt tells me to shut the fuck up.
You shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Show's gonna go on all night. Zach's gonna be like, please.
Zach's gonna start hearing Zach snoring.
Like, I'm so
Yeah,
fucking
I'm gonna
tired.
get into bed with my mic on.
I'm already in bed with my mic on.
Zach's just sitting there just
Playing
like,
some
"Will you
Vita.
guys please stop talking? I'm so fucking tired.
Okay, were there any other points or game types that we wanted to talk about?
Mega
Is there
Man.
anything else anyone wanted to talk about?
Mega Man. I'm fine with like,
Mega Man.
I'm fine with those on a yearly cycle, because I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, look what happened on a yearly cycle to Mega Man. It like got burned out. Just like, I mean, it has happened to many series like Guitar Hero. That definitely
Ugh.
like got demolished by having just way too short of a launch cycle. I don't know.
There were
whatever.
like 3 Guitar Hero games a year.
Oh yeah, and look at it next to Rock Band, right? There was Rock Band 1, and then it was a couple of years before Rock Band 2, and then I think 2 or 3 until part 3.
Yeah, and now
But
they
that
don't. Now they
whole
just do
time,
DLC.
they had new songs coming out.
They
kept
still
doing
have
those things like
songs
Guitar
coming out.
Hero, this band, Guitar Hero, that band, Guitar Hero, this. Like,
Yeah, and then they did
that.
Rock Band Beatles,
Guitar
which
Hero,
was
shut
great.
the fuck up.
Rock Band
Jesus Christ. He's so angry.
Beatles Rock Band was great, and then they went and
I
did,
love Beatles Rock Band.
and then they went and did Rock Band Green Day. I don't know what the hell they were thinking there.
Green Day's a good band. Fuck you.
I like
Green Day.
Green Day.
Green
but-
Day is a good band. Green Day is a good band.
I like Green Day, but do they need a whole Rock Band game?
Well, they've been in the music business for a long time. They do have a lot of songs.
I've been around since 1988. Yeah.
Fuck you.
How dare you? No. I think even the Beatles. The Beatles were all over the place with their music, especially towards the end with all the drugs. But
That's when
I
their
think
music was the
that
best.
their range was one of the only reasons that game was able to work. You could have all of the Beatles songs put together there, and you have a very wide range of music. When you put all the Green Day music together, it's all very, very similar. So I think it's hard to carry an entire game with that one type of music, whereas the Beatles, even the Beatles games started to get a little redundant after a while, and they have such a wide range in their music from the beginning to the
There
end.
was only
Their
one.
whole career. No, what I'm talking about is their range of music, the type of music they put out. Like, listen to their music from the early 60s, listen to their music in the late 60s. Completely
saying-
different styles. I'm
Right,
talking
you,
about
listen, you listen to Help, and then you listen to Abbey Road, and it's like such a big gap.
Exactly. So, like, they can carry an entire game with the range of their music internally as a band.
Well, I know. I
Green
get
Day
that.
is just one type of music. It's
So
that alt rock.
One smart
Okay.
thing that Harmonix did was they let you basically rip like the Green Day Rock Band or the AC/DC stuff. You could just put those songs into Rock Band 2 or Rock Band 3, and then never touch those discs again.
That's a good
So
idea.
they were like standalone track packs basically.
Mm.
So like if you like you know you're at the store and you just think, hey, I really love Green Day, you know, you could just get that and play that and that's it. Or if you wanted the whole Rock Band experience and you already had, you know, your guitar and all this stuff, but you want some Green Day songs, you could just buy the Green Day package for like $30 or whatever it was, and then
It was,
put all
I think it
those
was a $60
Rock Band
game when it
and
came
toss that
out,
disc.
actually.
It was $60. Wow.
Yeah, that's why it didn't sell very well. And then
Well,
it
you
was
can
like,
spend your $60 then and get your Green Day fix.
Well, it is like 10 albums worth of music.
not on the game.
Well, I mean, it's 10 albums worth of singles.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Holy moly. All right. Do we have anything else we want to say? Or can we let Zach go to sleep?
Bananas?
Oh, Mario Party also. Remember Mario Party?
Yeah, Mario
That
Party's
hasn't come
cool.
out for a while.
Mario
Did
Party.
they have like Mario Party 7?
Mario Party
9.
9, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Mario
It got
Party
up to
just...
9.
You
Mario
missed a
Party is-
couple.
Everybody wants to go home. When is that party gonna end?
Yeah, if Mario invites you
It
to a
wasn't
party,
the
you
same
never
fucking
ever go.
party.
Well, see, he's ageless and you're not, so that's one problem. there.
Ageless. Mario's
never go to a
immortal.
Mario Party.
He has
You
not
would be
aged a
ageless.
day since Donkey Kong.
He
I don't
changed
know.
his name though.
He changed his name, but that's about it. I mean,
If Mario
He's a
ever ran
baby.
for
you get old.
office,
Do you see any gray? Do you see any gray in his hair?
But he's
No.
a baby though in
Yeah,
he's
he's
got-
a baby. They should
he's
make
got-
an
he's got
old
good
So
Mario.
you see, he
genetics.
might go backwards, but he's not going forwards.
James,
So I
he's
saw
just
a
got good
timeline-
genetics,
I saw a
alright?
timeline of Mario games once. It was kind of
He's a
weird.
short, fat Italian plumber. How is that good genetics?
Don't
He's a-
fucking judge him
he's
for
around
the, for
poop
the
and toilet
community
water all
for
the time.
Don't judge him for the career choices that he made.
He eats mushrooms.
You're fucking druggy, man.
He's on drugs all the fucking time. Is that the kind of role model you want your kids to like?
Maybe?
Maybe.
Wow, your kids are fucked.
I love my kids. I'm gonna teach them.
you don't even have any fucking.
I know.
kids.
I love he says that as if he has kids.
I'm gonna teach them that it's okay to be whatever you want to be in life, even if it
Oh.
Boom.
Who kills turtles for a living? Just to get some goddamn cake.
Dude, you got like really cut off.
You cut out, so it's okay even if you're a, and then nothing. Who kills turtles for a living?
I was saying, even if you're a drugged out plumber who kills turtles for a living, all to get some princess's cake.
Oh, wait, what kind of cake?
Mario
I mean,
cake.
I mean, most of the time it's regular cake, but I mean,
Peach cake. Oh,
He's not
like to
doing
think
it
that he's
for the
also
cake.
going for the pussy cake.
No,
right,
no,
peach
no, that's
cake.
horrible. You
Peach
guys.
cobbler.
Mario's,
none of you,
he's
you guys are
gentleman.
stupid.
I'm laughing, Josh. I'm laughing.
Mario rescues Peach because it's the right thing to do, and the cake is just there. I mean, he's not like
It's not a lie though.
Peaches look like vaginas, and
It's
this is
not
why
the
it's funny.
incentive.
Shut the
It's the
fuck up,
adventure.
Josh. We get it.
God, I love
We're
Dave
also-
jumping in and defending Mario's honor.
We're also
No, how
fucking,
dare he? He's doing it because it's the right thing.
we're all just fucking like hostile towards each other.
You're all so fucking ridiculous.
It's one of our best traits.
Yeah, I guess, huh?
VGU.TV, the world's best fledgling entertainment site.
People
Yeah.
carrying
Da
that
da
title
da
over.
da da.
Oh, shit.
That was the end, right?
Yeah, I think we've reached.
All right.
Anyway.
I think
All
we've
right.
reached the podcast.
To be cut out.
Well, hey, man. If you guys if you listeners out there, you wanna throw out some more topics our way for us to just talk about for an hour and get distracted,
Ramble on about for an hour.
ramble
We'll
on
actually
about
talk about the topic for like 15 minutes.
people and shit and bullshit and whatnot, then tweet at us at VGU.TV or VGU.TV.
Oh, yeah, there's no dots in
Shut
Twitter.
the fuck up! God damn it! You son of a bitch! You can
Jesus Christ.
it's late. We're all tired. We're all fucking angry at each other.
I'm not tired. I'm just
Shut the
chilling.
fuck up.
I'm not angry.
Josh,
What?
stop it. Because Matt's it's tired. We're tired. It's late. Everyone's angry. I'm not tired. Just shut up.
This is what happens when like people get trapped on an island.
I've got me fit on a podcast in separate rooms across the country for
This is
an
what happens
hour,
when people get
and
trapped in
we're
a Mario
losing
Party.
it. I don't think this is anything close to what would happen.
Unless you got a way to get the fuck out of this
Trapped on an
party, I
island.
don't want to hear it. Ow.
Okay, you've got. Jesus Christ!
Oh my god.
Control yourselves. This is a professional podcast.
Are you sure?
100%.
Is there such a thing as a professional podcast? I've never heard one.
This is one.
We're making the first one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first.
out of this party.
All right, I think we reached the end of this
Okay.
podcast. So.
Okay. All right. If you listeners out there, you've got a fucking idea that you can that you can throw out at us so that we can talk bullshit about for an hour or so. Then tweet at us at VGU.TV, or you can tweet at us individually. You can tweet at Josh at PACPUNK, P-A-C-P-U-N-K. You can tweet at James at James Pungello, that's P-U-N-G-E-L-L-O. You can tweet at Scott Peltz, that's P-E-L-T-Z. You can tweet at Zach at that Zach Davis, that's Z-A-C, there is no H, there is no K. Or you can tweet at Nathan Gamer for at I fucked up at NGamer. Then you can tweet at me at Mattman07. That's with 2 T's, just in case you're wondering. Until next time, guys.
Roundtable
Later.
podcast.
Roundtable podcast.
Hey. How do I turn this off?